We're here under the night lights, the floodlights of Marina Bay. Welcome along to round number 4. It's the Singapore Grand Prix. This you're watching is Trinity Competitive Racing, the silver class for TCR Season 10. I'm joined in the commentary booth by Fabergrass, and we are here at the Marina Bay Circuit, a 3.1 mile long track with 23 turns, the most of any track on the calendar, and 2 DRS detection zones with a speed trap on the start-finish line. And Fabergrass, we're here at Singapore, a tricky street circuit with a lot of cool track elements as well as any regular track, but of course a street circuit as it is, dangerous as it always is, as we're getting ready for short qualifying. Talk us through what drivers need to do today to maximize lap times here today.
Well, night track, of course, physically demanding circuit, so everybody needs to be on their toes, very concentration heavy. Everybody needs to make sure their heads are straight and they are ready to go with no distractions. Getting a great qualifying lap in will definitely go a long ways. They did add the other detection zone for DRS, so that is a plus that they do have nowadays. Makes overtaking a little bit easier in a spot, but this is a track known for collisions, known for people losing some wheels on the walls. So just everybody, if they can keep their concentration, they should be okay. It looks at the moment we got an Alfa Romeo that is stuck on the pit lane. Coming out of it, so that has to be a glitch.
It has to be, because he's blocking, looks to be a Renault, and then the Alpha goes back in, and then we see another Alpha come out. That's Lazo, and there's a Haas ahead of him, and that's Pazosaurus Rex, who currently leads the Silver Clash Championship with 53 points on the trot. Bambouk, I'm just going to say that, not confusing myself too much, 40 points in the championship in second position, as Pazosaurus Rex in the Haas getting ready to start us off in qualifying. There is about 16 minutes and 30 seconds left to go, so a few drivers held up by that glitch, it seems, but nonetheless, we're going to get set for action here. Hot laps coming up in just a few moments. Fabergrass, nice to be in the commentary booth with you for the first time as we get ready for what is bound to be a very exciting race in the silver class. The last winner, Dorian Alpha, won the Japanese Grand Prix in round number 3. So we'll see if he can do the same today in the Renault. Of course, teammates with second in the championship, Bambouk.
Yeah, the Renaults have done really, really well, winning the last 2 races. Bambouk winning the 1, and then Dorian Alpha yesterday and last week in Japan. 2 different types of circuit, though, between Japan and this track, of course. I think I just got a message from Glenn saying they're going to have to restart. I think that was something with the glitch that did happen. So I'm going to keep everybody posted on that. I'm not sure what really went wrong.
Well, it seems like there was an issue with the Alfa Romeos, and then one of them went back into the track, and then the other one came out. It seems like we're all okay, as multiple drivers currently on outlaps right now, as Pazosaurus Rex is actually about to come across the line to start a hot lap, so we'll see if we do have, in fact, a restart, but nonetheless, we're going to ride on board with Pazosaurus as he comes into turn number 1, flying through the turn 1 and turn 2 chicane combination before coming through the slow turn number 3, and then putting back on the power before coming on to the next DRS straight, keeping it just outside of the exit wall, and looking pretty tidy so far. With about 15 minutes left to go in qualifying, DRS flap is open, increasing the increasing the top end speed by about 10 miles per hour, depending on your setup, as he comes now into Sector 2.
Yeah, going around Sector 2 now, 789, really tricky section, all 90-degree turns as he goes down into turn 10. Yeah, got a pretty good lap, using most of the track, trying to start on those mediums. Of course, usually if I decide I want to start on the mediums, I actually stay in the pit for quite a bit, let some guys go out there, put some rubber down and heat that track up a little bit. But he might have something in his sleeve and wants to get out there and get them heated up, come in and sit there for a minute as he's now hitting that other DRS straight that they did add this season before he gets down into turn 14. This is going to be the really tricky bit here of the street circuit where it's constant 90-degree short left, right again before he gets back to the star's finish line. But so far he's had a great lap going.
Coming through the underbridge section of the track, looking pretty good so far. The hairpin a little messy, not able to connect at the apex too well as he's coming through the Sector 3 chicane, and Ooh, almost hits the wall on the exit before slinging it through the final turn, and the time on the board is going to be a 135.9 to start the session off, as we will wait to see the other drivers come across the line, as we have an Alfa Romeo who has a time on the board. That is a 136.3, considerably slower than the pole position time currently afforded to by the Haas. And
yeah, that 135.9 is really quick on those medium tires. We just saw Juan Abreu. He just did one 138.2 on the mediums as well. Motor City with a 136.3 on the soft. So
who
guys
just
are just
happened
finishing
to
up some
leave.
laps. We'll see some times here.
F1 Racer 137.6 going third fastest ahead of Juan. And we have a Mercedes, which is about to come across the line and set some sort of time. It's going to be a 139.4, so probably not the time you want to have to be challenging anywhere the top end of the grid. And we have a new pole position time at the moment. It's a Bambouk with a 135.5. Crucially, though, on the soft compound tire. So those tires are going to wear out considerably quicker than the mediums. So not too sure if you want to be starting on those soft tires come the start of the race.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the softs or the hards around here. I really prefer the mediums, going as much as I can. As I feel like the softs, they just wear too much, and then the hard tires I feel like I really don't get enough grip on. But I mean, there's the reason that they use the hard and soft and medium compounds around all the tracks. That's just my personal opinion when I do race. However, starting on the softs is not a bad idea if you can get in, put in 4 or 5 laps and get off of them. Two-stop strategy maybe probably the best bet around here, unless anybody wants to start on the hards and go to a mediums, maybe a possibility. I just feel like you lose so much time on the hard tires around this really difficult, physically demanding street circuit.
Robin Hood Lawyer with 142.2. That's going to put him 8th fastest at the moment. Considerably slower, though, than the Mercedes ahead of him with 139.4. Not a super impressive time there either. Nip Steven is currently on a lap as well. There's outlaps right now for the Ferrari and the Alfa Romeo, as somebody just set a time. I didn't quite see that was, as might have been, it was Dorian Alpha who went with 136.1. That's going to put him 3rd fastest on the grid right now. So the two Renaults looking pretty good, being split, however, by Pazasaurus in the Haas. The upper Haas of Juan down in 8th position right now, as there is Nip in Sector 2 slinging it through the chicane. I'm getting a lot of onboard shots from just the regular camera view. A little unorthodox. Usually I'm getting a lot of more external shots in the game, but nonetheless, there's Nip activating the DRS flap as he comes down the second DRS straight before closing it quickly for a very not hard 90-degree turn. And now slinging it towards the chicane, now towards the underneath bridge section. Looking pretty tidy so far. Blend Machine has retired from the session, and I'm not too sure what that was all about, but nonetheless, I think it will... Oh, as Blend Machine left, so as that means we're restarting the session, I'm not too sure. I mean, we've had a considerable amount of times set, so if you can let me know, is that a restart?
Yeah, I'll definitely try to find out if that is the case. It looks like Motor and TCR are both restarting. So we're going to switch the hosts, and we're going to do a restart here. It sounds like that's how we're going to go about it. So really do apologize to everybody. But we will be right back up in just a few minutes, I'm guessing.
I mean, we'll stay live for a moment just to talk further about the race. So we have a 135.5. That is the time we have at the moment, as we'll get out of the lobby and get into a new one. But nonetheless, 135.5 so far was the fastest that we saw. Hopefully we go a little faster in qualifying, but that was on the soft compound tire. Fabregas, in your opinion, is it better, if you're going to start on the mediums, what tire would you prefer to go on at the end? Do you go on 2 sets of mediums and then go to softs at the end, or do you do mediums to hards possibly and try to go for a one-stop?
Me personally, I'd go for a 2-stop, go medium, medium, soft, and that way you have a little bit of control over something. You expect to have a safety car around here. And you expect that in kind of early as well. So it's not a bad idea to go on the softs, but I still think it's going to be a two-stop regardless. I know obviously that's just my personal opinion. Medium and hards is a possibility, but to me, yeah, I think if you start on the mediums, depending on when a safety car does come out, you can go to the softs for a real quick. And of course, your track position is going to depend on that too. If you're more at the back, you may decide to make the long run and go with the hards and come out on softs later. So you may use all three compounds around here under the lights here at Marina Bay. So, but it looks like everybody has pretty much left out, I believe. So, are we ready to back out, or you want to?
I've already backed out of the
All right. I'm
lobby.
gonna go ahead and do that. You gonna stop the stream?
No, we'll keep talking. I don't think it's
You're
going
gonna
to
keep
take too
going?
long.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll just keep going.
good.
Nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, you're watching live coverage of round number 4 of TCR Season 10. This is the Silver Class, waiting for another lobby to begin short qualifying again for the Singapore Grand Prix at the Marina Bay Circuit. Joined in the co-commentary booth by Fabregas. And if you are enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to Trinity Competitive Racing and turn on the notification bell to never miss a race or other video from TCR. Everybody, very happy to have you nonetheless in the stream as we just get ready for another lobby to start up, and then we'll get right back into the action under the floodlights of Marina Bay.
Yeah, we definitely do apologize about all that. Really unfortunate, but of course, going straight into the game, we saw a glitch I've actually never seen before, where somebody was trying to come out of the pits and they pretty much parked at a 90-degree angle almost. And so that's the first time I've seen that. I don't know about you. But
No,
I
I've
guess that
never
was just
seen
kind
that
of a
myself either. But
sign of things to come. So something obviously happened with the lobby. So yeah, pretty fun. Hopefully they set the lobby back up perfect the way it was. I think we weren't planning on having any weather. We were under the lights, of course. So hopefully everything works out.
hopefully so. And just waiting to see when we get an invite to a new lobby.
Yeah, I think they're going to find a new host and then get Blinn in, and then Blinn will re-invite the rest of us back through, I do believe.
All right.
So, yeah, I mean, while we're sitting here just talking about it, we can talk about what we saw last week in Real F1 with the racers going on there. What a fabulous race we did have there.
In the Italian
red
Grand
flag.
Prix.
Yeah, definitely changed some things, and we did see Pierre Gasly with his first win. Unfortunately, Giovinazzi and Lewis Hamilton got the pit penalties and had to come in and really couldn't challenge for the win. I mean, great job from him to get back up to, I think he finished 7th in the end. They were projecting him maybe to finish 6th, but got up to 7th. So, I mean, great job by Lewis Hamilton. Really unfortunate that happened, but I mean, rules are rules, and if lights are out there for a reason, you got to pay attention. We saw that last year qualifying in Mexico, or I think it was Mexico, or maybe it was somewhere else where it was Max Verstappen got a grid penalty because he didn't see the yellow flags of Valtteri Bottas, who I think had wrecked.
But, you know, regardless, I think it's important, though, because nonetheless, we've had a dominant turbo hybrid era from the top 3 teams. We haven't had a single other team win a race since we've gone into the turbo hybrid era besides Ferrari, Red Bull, or Mercedes. And we haven't seen that kind of dominance pretty much ever. You know, before you at least to have some sort of team, maybe even if it was a Lotus back in the 2000s, 2010s, or even before that, you know, Jordan and the like of. But in this era with budgets being so high and money really playing into a factor, we finally got an opportunity to see another manufacturer win or another constructor, meanwhile, to actually win another race of Pierre Gasly with AlphaTauri. Even if it is a Red Bull junior team, nonetheless, it's still very exciting. And then McLaren, of course, almost getting that elusive victory that they have not received in many, many years. Jenson Button, actually, I believe, being the last winner for McLaren in 2012 in Hungary. So it is definitely something that they're going to be looking forward to as McLaren continues their upward momentum under the direction of Adrian Seidel from originally the Porsche Endurance Group, as I do actually have another invite to the lobby, and that was actually from you, so nonetheless. But no, it's good for the sport. We need to have more wins, and hopefully when 2022 rolls around, we'll actually be able to get more wins from other constructors. And I think also that the race panning out the way it did, it was almost feeling like a reverse grid race. And I think a lot of people, including myself, were opposed to it in the beginning, but I actually think seeing how that played out, I think that changed a lot of people's minds on the idea of a reverse grid race, because I think in F1 it seems too artificial. If you don't have the right car and you don't do well enough, then you don't deserve to be on the pole position spot. But I think that that it's those things. I mean, F1's always been a ridiculous sport as it is anyway, and if we really think about it, so I think things like that, having a reverse grid, could really spice things up in the race. But nonetheless, it was absolutely amazing. Of course, that's technically Toro Rosso, even if it is AlphaTauri, still the same Toro Rosso team as last year. That's the second time they've won an Italian Grand Prix. Of course, Sebastian Vettel winning his first Formula One race ever under the rainy skies of Monza. And now Pierre Gasly, the first driver, I believe, in 24 years from France to win a Formula One race. And you saw people like Romain Grosjean extremely happy to have seen him win that race. So it's obviously not going to be like that every weekend. Of course, you are going to expect to see the front contenders challenging for the victories most of the time, but it's still a special opportunity to see those miracle race results once in a while, and Pierre Gasly gave us it that last weekend.
Yeah, I was pleased to see it actually happen. I had the race on, and I was getting about halfway through, about 20 laps in, and I just started. I was glued onto the TV at the time, and just looking at how things were transpiring. Bottas wasn't really making up any time. Verstappen was kind of stuck at the back a little bit, and everybody had really spread out. So I started doing some things around the house and not really paying attention. I think I stepped away for 3 or 4 minutes and then came back, and it was we had a red flag after I saw Leclerc wreck, or I saw Magnussen get out, and it wasn't until came back and saw the red flag that I saw that Leclerc had gone out, and that's what started it. And of course, it was the pit stop, yellow flag there, and Magnussen was right there on the side of the pit. So I understand the rules. Unfortunate that it happened to 2 drivers, but again, them now talking about the reverse grids, us having ideas of what we can do with F1 to make it more exciting. I think that's what they're going about with everything that's going around in the world right now and the way they've changed the schedule. I think most of the races being European, and then even if they do decide to go a little bit further east, the Russian Grand Prix start times can be start an hour earlier, then maybe do like a reverse grid of the top 10 and then have the guys race another, like they do in F2 with the sprint race. So it could be fun if they change a couple things up. Of course, next year they're going to start, trying to take the money down, and I think the lesser teams are going to have more time in the wind tunnel, which is definitely going to help Williams, because Williams, their biggest drawback right now is the drag coming off that car. They've got a great power unit. I think they've got a pretty good chassis. Of course, Williams being bought out and Claire stepping down as deputy director at the moment. So we're going to see who comes in. I think I saw the name of the person who is going to be heading that up from now on. But again, I think drag is probably their biggest issue. So they're going to get more time in the wind tunnel. But again, there's also going to be wage gaps and stuff like that. Where, how much money they can spend every year, but it's going to start next year, but it's only going to be a trial, so they don't have to stay under that amount of money. So really looking forward to that happening next year. It looks like everybody is leaving the lobby again.
So are we doing another lobby? I'm not too sure what's going on nonetheless, but we are apparently, I guess we're doing another lobby, which doesn't make any sense. So this has not gone super well for anybody so far, but I did just get another invite from Blend Machine, so I guess we are doing another lobby again. But yeah, I mean, going on the budget cap, I think that a budget cap was needed because bringing in the new engine regulations in 2014, obviously the engine's costing upwards of $10 million just to produce one engine, and then, of course, the amount of money that teams like Ferrari and Mercedes are spending on their engine development programs. I mean, I think a few years ago it was revealed that Mercedes had spent like $300 million just on the engine department alone over the course of the hybrid era, which is just an insane amount of money to think about. And, I think that obviously F1 is a rich man's sport. Ultimately, money is going to play a huge factor into it, and we're not saying that it shouldn't. But at the same time, we can't have these massive programs spending so much money, and I also think not getting is not necessarily what they should be in return. I mean, we've seen how bad fun. Bad championship winnings can affect a sport. Of course, the World Endurance Championship with the LMP1 program. Pretty much everybody except Toyota leaving just due to the fact that you're not really getting much of a return on investment for spending so much money on a program like that. Porsche and Audi both leaving, and then Toyota just kind of left to fend for itself. Even if it was happy to win all those races, it's still, no competition for them. So I think the budget cap was needed. It was a necessary evil, even if it necessarily isn't the evil that necessarily what you want to see in the sport. I think ultimately we do want to see the best and brightest engineers duking it out to create a new interpretation of the rules. But I think in this day and age, it's not so simple anymore as simply doing something a little bit different than the rest of the teams. We don't have the times of Benetton and Jordan and even Williams when they were so small, trying out different things and becoming powerhouses overnight by simply innovating on the rules. We haven't seen that in a while, and I don't think that the way the cars are made, I don't think that's really possible anymore. And I don't think it's going to be nearly as possible with 2022 either. The rules are a lot stricter, and the aero packages are a lot more tight, and teams, of course, will have some leeway in figuring out how they want their cars to be aerodynamically set up, but ultimately they're going to be a lot more simplified. And I think that budget caps were a necessary evil to take into consideration, because we can't have teams like Ferrari spending $400 million a year on their car, where even Mercedes is not even spending that much money. I think it's a $100 million difference between the two. You've seen obviously Ferrari not doing well, but in most situations, Ferrari is a top 3 team, if not fighting for the championship, and Mercedes themselves spend $300 million a year about on their F1 program, and it's just impossible. Even teams like Renault, which are run by the Renault car company itself, struggle to reach those budgets.
They don't put that much money in. So good to hear that they're going to have. It's still going to be a Renault engine, but they're going to rebrand to Alpine Racing, I think, starting next season, running the red, white, and blue, or blue, white, red of the French flag. So that's going to be really interesting to see. Haas has already been talking about. Looks like they did sign the Concord agreement, so I believe they are going to stay in for the next 5 years.
The thing about the Concord agreement is when you sign that, it's not necessarily guaranteeing you'll stay. It's actually a little bit of a. The thing is, if Haas didn't sign it and they decided to leave anyway, it actually would have hurt Gene a lot more financially, because signing the Concord just lets you leave the sport a little bit easier. So it's not guaranteed, but I did hear reports that they were looking to get some long-term contracts into 2021, and I think that coronavirus has delayed any thought of possibly exiting out of the sport at the end of this season, considering the car will be the same next year. I think, if anything, 2021 will be the real test to see if they decide to stay.
Yeah, and it's hopefully they do. We've actually, a couple of the races so far this year, Haas has actually looked pretty decent. I know, obviously big problems in Austria with their brake failures, but I'm not saying they've gotten a point so far. That's definitely a plus. As far as I'm confident in their drivers, maybe not so much. But again, I feel like they have improved just a little bit. Well, obviously with the parts and who you have to buy them from this year, a lot of that's changed.
Right.
We've seen the controversy with Racing Point and what they're doing. So yeah, hopefully that happens. Doesn't really hurt them too much. But like you were talking about with the budget gap, I definitely agree your assessment of it being a necessary evil here in America with football, basketball, all that. There's salary caps where you can't spend but so much on players. Even over in Europe and European football and soccer, they're doing the same thing called financial fair play, where if the money that you put into the team, if you on your books, if they don't really go out and you're going into debt, then you're going to get in trouble for doing that. And your assessment of Ferrari and Mercedes, the amount of money they put into their cars season after season after season, it's really hard for teams like Haas and Williams, Renault to really keep up with that.
And I think also with Haas, the problem is that they don't make the cars themselves. Those cars are almost a carbon copy of the Ferraris from the previous year. So it's not like that what Racing Point is doing is anything new. Haas has been doing that since almost its inception, probably except for 2017 when the rules changed. So they did have to do that car themselves a little bit. But 2018 on, it's been pretty much an old Ferrari. But You know, I think that one, the qualifying pace just isn't acceptable. It's difficult for him to get out of Q1, and Q2 is usually
Yep.
just a complete mess anyway. They're usually at the back of Q2, but I don't mind Kevin Magnussen, and I respect Roman Grosjean a lot. Of course, he's a 10-time podium winner, of course, in Formula One, but I think it's time to hang up the hat. I think he's been in the sport a little bit too long and hasn't really shown why to be in the sport that long. And it's not like I don't think Haas has the opportunity. I mean, I still think there's a plethora of American drivers that they could easily snatch out of IndyCar and put them into the limelight. It's not like some of those drivers haven't already been in Formula One, so they have the experience. So I think Grosjean has to go. I think they have to stop relying on Ferrari so much as we know that they're going to. It looks like we are going to be readying up soon, but I think they have to stop relying on buying outside parts from Ferrari and other teams, because their problem is that you do that and maybe it gives you a performance boost at the beginning of the season, but you don't understand that car because you didn't design that car, and now you have to deal with the fact that maybe the car is not going to be too good at the middle or end of the season. So I think that they need to just try to work on a car themselves, as we're going to get set here in 15 seconds now for
I definitely
short
agree
qualifying.
with that point, though. What you're talking about in this year, like they made the standard parts, so that's a big thing we've been seeing with Racing Point and the brake duct. So Haas had to design their own, but of course they failed in the first race in Austria. So really looking to see that. I'm just going to step away for 1 minute and grab some more ice. I'll be right back.
Nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting ready for short qualifying, and we do again apologize for all of the delays. We are going to be back under the lights at Marina Bay and hopefully get you a nice short qualifying run. So again, it's going to be 18 minutes of nonstop action in qualifying. Drivers allowed to set as many lap times as they want within the allotted time in order to get on pole position here in round number 4 of the Silver Class Championship in Trinity Competitive Racing. You're watching live coverage of round number 4 of the championship. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss a race or video from Trinity Competitive Racing. My name is ISRL Ix. I'm joined by Fabregas in the commentary booth. He'll be back with us in just a moment, and we're about to get set for action here, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get set for qualifying. And we are just loading up into the lobby. We had a little bit of a problem in the previous lobby. We're back on the pit lane, waiting to see who's the first car that's going to come out of the box and get ourselves underway. We have 15 drivers on the grid, so it looks like a little bit less than we had before. We might have lost a few drivers, but nonetheless, I think we'll have an exciting time. It looks like one of the Mercedes cars is getting ready. In fact, one of the Mercedes is getting ready. We'll see who that is. It looks like Fire Up Flow is going to exit, and we do have, it looks like a Haas, and that is Pazosaurus Rex, who was out of the pit lane the first time, and he's out of the pit lane for the first time, the second time now, as we get back under racing conditions, back under qualifying conditions, as there is the Haas driver leading the TCR Silver Class Formula One World Championship by 13 points, and we'll see if he can extend his advantage in the championship in this race today as he begins an outlap, getting ready for a hot lap to try to get on pole position. And he wasn't on pole position as we left the session in second position, but he did set down the mediums, and he is elected to go on the mediums again, as you would probably expect him to. We expect probably the faster strategy is going to be a two-stop from the medium, and then ending on the soft tires. A few drivers may elect to try a medium hard setup for just a one-stop, but the hard tires, very hard to get up to optimal temperature for operation around this track, so we'll see if they can do so. But nonetheless, they'll try their best, and a few drivers may elect to try the softs. Then it will be a soft, medium. Soft hards will be difficult to do around the track. It's going to be 31 laps for a 50% race around the Marina Bay circuit, but nonetheless, there is Pazosaurus Rex about to enter the bridge chicane, as navigates that pretty well. It's about to begin the hot lap for the Haas and let's see if he can set a good one as he almost hits the retaining wall out of the exit of the penultimate turn before coming into the final turn. Comes across the line, DRS is activated, heading down in through 8th gear before slamming on the brakes and coming through the turns 1 and 2 chicane before slowing up for turn number 3 and then speeding back up again, back on the power, about to come into the long DRS, the first DRS straight of Sector 1. Back on the power early, keeps it out of the exit wall, right on the edge of the track. DRS activated now. The top speed increasing by 10 miles per hour, maybe depending on your setup. Of course, it is going to be a purple Sector 1, the first driver out, using a lot of the curb there, coming out of the exit, and now coming into Sector 2, which is a nice combination of 90-degree turns and nice twisty chicanes. The drivers have to be very careful not to overdo it in this section of the track as he's slinging it through now. Just look how on it he is right now, cutting across the different apexes and now coming up to this hairpin, which he has struggled in the past before, and it looks like, again, not quite hitting the apex like you'd like. There's already a yellow flag. It looks like the other Haas of Juan was going a little slowly. In fact, he hasn't validated this lap, so something might have happened. He might have made contact with the wall, but nonetheless, Pazosaurus Rex on the charge right now. Purple in Sector 2. Again, we'll have to wait and see how long that lasts. Fire Up Flow has retired from the session. It looks like he's had a crash. And oh, that's a contact into the wall for Pazosaurus in the bridge section. And that is going to be some major front wing damage that he's going to have to repair if he's got any shot of a quicker lap. But the Fire Up Flow has had a crash in Sector 2. And that is no good for him. He will come off track, but one of the Mercedes already out of qualifying as Gut-Any Welb is actually on a lap right now, his other Mercedes teammate, so he's going to be all alone today as Lazo has gone fastest of 135.8. Sam TJ in the SF1000, the Ferrari Challenger this year, not doing too well. Oh, that was that contact. There's still another Alfa Romeo, and that's Motor City, who is got a time on the board for that is a 136.3. I don't really understand how he set a time considering where he is on track. And now, TCR F1 racer is a 5-place grid penalty. Now Motor City has left the session again, and I am just confused as anybody would be. You saw the Haas there make contact on track. He doesn't have any damage on the car, so I'm not too sure what the problem is. You can see that the car is undamaged, the front wing looking A-OK, as Bambouk goes quickest again, and that is the second time it looks like Motor City has had major problems with his connection in qualifying, and he has joined back into the lobby, but I'm not too sure if he's going to be lasting too much longer with all of those connection problems, as he has left the session again, so he is lagging out quite severely. Robin Hood Lawyer with 138.0, a lot better time than he did in the previous session. Turkey Whacker is in 6th position for 139.8. That's on the soft compound tire, so that's something he's definitely going to want to improve upon, as we see Juan going for another lap in the Haas, Sam, TJ, and then Motor City has joined again, so he is trying to get back in, but it doesn't look like the connection is doing him too many favors here, as looks like we will continue on with qualifying nonetheless. I don't think anybody really wants to have another restart, but
there's Juan just invalidating his lap there, so he was going out on the mediums. But yeah, 135.2, I mean, that's a little bit better than the time that we saw before we had the major glitch in the first qualifying session. So yeah, 135.2, got a 135.8 right behind him for Lotso. I don't think Lotso put in a time in the last one. And of course, Dorian Alpha, those Renaults have looked really, really strong so far this season in TCR Silver class.
I want to mention also, Pazosaurus Rex did not set a time on the mediums and is now going back out on the soft. So this is a different strategy than to the one we saw before. So he is looking to match Bambouk's strategy, which is soft, probably medium. Again, I don't really think the soft hard is really a realistic strategy call. I think the tires are going to be too done near the end of the race. There's about 11 minutes left to go in the session, and we have about 6 times on the board. A lot of drivers have not yet set times. 3 drivers currently on outlaps. F1 racer, Pazosaurus Rex, and D-Wish. And we have a few more drivers in the pit lane. Nip Steven is currently on a lap right now.
Yeah, I'm running on board with him as he's coming around the sectors of turns 8, 9, and 10 here. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, it's 15, 16, and 17. So this is the third sector, getting ready to hit the right-hander here of 2021 as he's going to round out the last couple turns here. Should be able to just let off the throttle and go straight through here. Open that DRS as soon as you can and stay to the inside there. Not a bad time there, 135.6 on those soft. That puts him second at the moment. We still have 10 minutes left in qualifying. This track is going to start heating up, and people are going to start to maybe go out. Anybody that hasn't set time, about half the people, half the drivers in here today have set a time. The other half have not. If they've saved their medium tires, it might be a good time to maybe go out, test 1 or 2 laps, and you can save a little bit on one of them, and then really push on. You can do 3 laps in qualifying and just retire your car if you like. I don't know if that's frowned upon or not. If you can get back in the pits before you
There's a yellow flag somewhere. Looks like a Ferrari has had an incident in the wall, and that might be it might be Sam TJ. I don't know if he was just soloing up on an outlap, but it looked like Pazasaurus was, and he's fastest in the first 2 sectors he's faced so far on this lap on that soft tire. So Pazasaurus is back on the charge, looking for pole position of his own. About 9 minutes and 30 seconds left in the session as he's now coming towards the bridge where he hit the wall the previous time, not able to set a time on that last occasion on medium. Oh, and again, it's another invalidation. He way cut the track there, coming into the final few turns, and then he's going to have to go back into the pits, and Pazasaurus Rex has had an opposite end of the spectrum in this qualifying session. The first 2 laps are unfortunately not getting a lap time on the board. The first time he hit the wall, the second time now it's an invalidation, and that's on soft tires. He's now used up 2 compounds of tires and has not been able to get a lap on the board, so he's going to have to improve upon that if he wants to be anywhere near pole position, and might be hurting his race severely in terms of strategies possible, as somebody has gone third fastest, and it is F1 Racer with a 35.7. And we see a few 135s. That's Lazo in the 4th spot with a 135 as well. And then now we have D Swish, who has gone third fastest, a 135.6. So a decent time. We're getting a pretty decent amount of these 135s. And there's a yellow flag in Sector 3. Looks like, again, it's the Ferrari. Sam TJ, who's going into the pits as he is not happy with something on the car. Nonetheless, we'll see if he can get a lap time later on in the session. 8 minutes left to go in qualifying.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looked like one of the Alfa Romeos there set a purple first sector, but they both invalidated this time. So it couldn't have been, well, maybe it could have been them, and then they invalidated, maybe it's Dorian Alpha, I'm not quite sure. If anybody else, it would be one of the racing points. That would again be TCR. It says he's on a fast lap, but he could be on an in lap. He doesn't have much ERS to burn left. Based on where he is on the track, I'm thinking this is probably a in lap for him at the moment. We do have Pazasaurus Rex going back out again, starting his out lap, just finishing up the first sector here. Blend Machine has not put in a time, but it looks like he is on a fast lap on the medium tire, so let's going to see what he can actually make up with McLaren as he is getting ready to come through and finish up the second sector. Didn't see anything flash purple as he's diving down into turns 14, getting ready to do the small turn 15 here into the really tricky part. For me, this is one of my, I really don't like this sector. That and also, turns 12 and 13 are really difficult. That's where we want to keep a close eye on where we're going to see the most incidents. Definitely the turn 1 through 4.
And that's a Blend Machine invalidation right there. Cut the chicane, and he is going to go wobbling back into the pits. I also want to mention Juan went 7th fastest in the Haas car, so still having a little bit better luck than his teammate, who is about to come towards the end of Sector 3 and begin his, again, now his 3rd attempt at setting a time on the board. We saw him go fastest in the first 2 sectors on his previous attempt. Will he do the same again? Comes around the final turn, opens up the DRS flap, and let's begin one more time for another lap. He should get at least another chance if he messes it up this time, but 3 times hopefully is a charm, and he should be able to get a time on the board now.
It looks like he's got plenty of ERS to use here, so I'm guessing he saved a little bit last time, and maybe, I don't know, Always interesting to know what's going on, but he is using most of the track as he can. Just made a couple mistakes here and there down to the 100 board. Get on those brakes a little bit after the 100 board. You can safely brake, but once you see that black marker there, you want to be hard on the brakes here. One of those difficult turns there, especially if you're not using racing line. That turn right there can really pull you out. And then probably into one of the most difficult sections after the straight between 9 and 10 here, going through 11 and 12, and then of course 13, that really nasty hairpin. You really got to get on the brakes a little bit harder here, a little bit earlier than you think, and then try to stay out there. Missed the apex just a little bit, but that was probably the best I've seen him take turn 13 so far in this qualifying session. If he can stay away from invalidating, hopefully he doesn't get the commentator's jinx here. Stayed off that curve there going through turn 14. So well done there. Hopefully I didn't commentate curse him like I have been known to do to people before.
Pazosaurus now coming towards the end of Sector 3 through the underbridge section, which cursed him the first time. Does not invalidate on that occasion. Now coming through the final chicane. This looks like it's going to be good for Pazosaurus as he exits out of that penultimate turn. Now the final sweeping left-hander as the back end unstable. That's only 6th fastest. It's a 135.9 on the soft compound tire, and the two Haas's considerably slower than the previous session. Pazosaurus Rex, championship leader, not on the pace right now here in qualifying.
Yeah, I think he lost 2 or 3 tenths there in that final sector. That back end kind of just slipping out and really concentrating on getting a time in instead of pushing full throttle. So turning in just a little bit later than maybe he wanted to, or just going a little bit slower and trying to pull out of some of these turns. So very unfortunate to see that. He was very, very quick, and obviously the Drivers' Championship leader at the moment. We do have the two Renaults sitting in first place in the Constructors' Championship with Dorian Alpha and Bambuki at the moment, sitting in pole position with that 135.2 that he set pretty much with, 15 minutes left in qualifying. He did that really, really quick.
I want to mention here there's a fastest Sector 2, it looks like, for Nip Steven, who's about to come in the... almost lost the back end there through the underbridge section, but looks to be okay. Really losing the car. That was almost an invalidation right there. He's about to come into the final turn. We're going to see if this is a faster time for the Red Bull driver coming across the line, and it is going to be pole position with a 135.1. That is a 10th and a half clear of Bambuki, and that was a mega time by Nip Steven in the Red Bull car, and that's going to be pole position for him at the moment.
Yeah, it was a great drive around the track from him. I just saw the final third sector that he was doing there, but he looked really, really quick. I believe in this track is heating up. One of the biggest problems that we have here in qualifying is we do it under the lights. Qualifying is usually done during the day here, so the track's going to be a lot warmer, and then we get to the race, and we usually see times a lot slower in the race than we do in qualifying, of course, but we're doing it under the nighttime lights here, and of course the race will be at night as well. So the temperature drops a little bit. I mean, we are in Singapore, and that's an invalidation for Turkey Wecker there. I know he really wanted to put it in a good time on the medium tires to finish up, but he does have a 139.8 on the soft tires at the moment. I think he wanted to improve on that on the mediums, but unfortunately he just invalidated. I think he's trying to save a little bit of ERS, and maybe he's going to go again. That would be my advice to him. Go ahead and get back on it, come through the final turn, and go again. That looks exactly like what he's doing. So hopefully he can actually put in a better time. It's going to be real interesting. If he can start in the top 10 on those medium tires, that's going to be a big advantage for him going through. We do have a yellow flag in Sector 2. I
have to talk about his teammate Sam TJ, also an invalidation as well. Both Ferraris having woeful qualifying right now here as the final 2 minutes about to expire. Sam TJ probably just going to save his ERS. He's on that medium compound tire. Just needs to get a lap time on the board. Both Blend Machine and Motor City 2000 have also not yet set any times. Motor City, of course, having multiple connection problems in the session, but Sam TJ's got to get a move on and possibly try to get another lap time on the clock, as he has just had a woeful time as it is with the time about to expire. There's multiple yellow flags. Motor City has retired again from the session and is back in the pit lane. Just a woeful session for him as well, with all of the problems with his connection, but nonetheless, F1 Racer is about to start a lap again, sitting in 4th. Swish up there in third, a little bit further back. I don't know if he's going to be able to get around for another lap because he is considerably further back. This is a pretty long track in terms of lap time. I don't think Swish has enough time to get around for another lap. F1 Racer will get around again. Pazosaurus might be able to, but it's got to get a move on. Dorian Alpha definitely will get around for another one, and then TCR F1 Racer has begun another lap, coming in the turns 1 and 2 quickly before slinging it into turn number 3, and then back on the power full throttle before coming up towards the DRS straight. Bambuki has also gone in for another lap. Nip Steven is in the pit lane. He will elect to stay in, and with that 135.1, pretty confident that he will remain on pole position. Provisional pole for Nip Steven at the moment. Bambuki, though, on the charge right now. Let's see what this sector 1 split is going to be. It's actually going to be slower for Bambuki in the first sector, so right now they challenge for pole position. Not looking too good for the Renault driver right now, as F1 Racer looks to have gone also thousandths of a second slower in the first sector, and now coming through sector 2, the toughest sector in my opinion of the track, is really losing the back end right there. And I think he's done. Yep, F1 Racer has decided to abort this lap, and he has gone off on the runoff area, so and he does in fact retire on track, so he is done in qualifying. Lazo it looks like he has invalidated this lap, so he's not going to be able to set another time on the board. I don't believe, it looks like D-Wish did get around for another one, but he is slower in the first sector, so unfortunately for him, this is also not looking like a good challenge right now. Here comes Bambuki, who looks to have gone faster in the second sector this time, so the challenge is back on. He's about to come through the final turn here in Singapore. Time has expired. There is no more time in qualifying. Comes across the line. Bambuki is back on pole position with a 134.952, and that is a blistering lap time around Marina Bay. That's going to put him on pole position. Nip Steven is down to second position. Dorian Alpha has put the other Alfa Romeo in third position. The the Renaults 1 and 3 on the grid right now. D Swish is going to look to say something about that. He's gone a tenth quicker in the second sector. Third sector is about to end for him. Let's see what he can do. There is derating on the car right now, so he's down on some power, and that's second position for D Swish. A majorly fantastic lap on the final lap here in qualifying. That's going to put him P number 2 on the grid. Pazosaurus Rex is only in 5th position. A reversal of fortunes here in short qualifying after the restart. Pazosaurus Rex, championship leader, starting in 5th position on the grid, but pole position has gone to the Renault of Bambuki, second in the championship. D-Swish got a major final lap. That's going to put him second on the grid. Nip Steven with an impressive third. Dorian Alpha ahead of Pazosaurus Rex, the championship leader, only 5th on the grid here in Singapore.
Now, it was a fantastic qualifying session there, especially at the end there. It got really, really interesting. But looking at those top 5, I mean, they're separated by 4/10 at the moment. So, excellent job by all the drivers today in qualifying. Some of the guys didn't get a lap time in. We saw Fire Up Flow have his little accident there at the beginning, but I mean, it is the Marina Bay circuit here in Singapore, so we expect to see a little bit of a contact with some of these walls. They are pretty tight. Very hard to get around, a lot of 90-degree turns, a lot of blind turns. Braking distances do change as the tires heat up, as your brakes heat up, as rubber gets put down on the track, as your car, depending on how much you fuel your car. And then, of course, there's setups around here. You know, guys might be running 810 wings, some might be running 711, some might be running 911. So always going to be interesting with that. And then your cambers and tows, how you want to deal with that. Now there's an extra DRS session here. So, but really looking interested in this, we did see that TCR F1 Racer is going to have a 5-grade spin penalty there, so that's going to put him back down into 11. I don't know if that's going to mess up Blend Machine, who is now going to start in 10th and can't get off those soft tires. So it's going to be interesting to see how they start the strategies, anybody who's in 11th to 16th here.
I think he should be good because he qualified in that position, so I don't think
is that how that works? So, yeah, it would be nice now that he's up to 10th, if he can start on those mediums. That would be pretty good for him.
He might have gone a little Lance Stroll lucky, as we like to say now, after that that red flag tire change. But nonetheless, here, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready and set for racing conditions here in Marina Bay. We're about to begin the formation lap, and I'll go over the starting lineup one more time for you. You're watching live coverage of round number 4 of the TCR Silver Class Formula One World Championship. We're here in Singapore at the Marina Bay Circuit for the Singapore Grand Prix. And if you're joining us at the YouTube channel, make sure, if you like the content, to leave a like and subscribe to Trinity Competitive Racing. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss a race or video from TCR. This is TCR Season 10 seasons of TCR. Everybody, extremely grateful to have you all here, and we're about to begin in 20 seconds time. And just before we start the session, give us your thoughts. What do you think is going to happen as we get into the race?
Yeah, really looking forward to this. Singapore is a lovely track, under the lights, very demanding, 5.063 kilometers. 3.15 miles around this 23-turn circuit. It was Kevin Magnussen that set the lap record of a 141.905 just a couple years ago. First race was here, first night race ever held in F1 was first held here in 2008. I definitely think that 141.9 within the last 5 or 6 laps here, especially if there's some sort of tire change near the end by somebody, I'm pretty sure that record will be beaten here tonight.
And I would like to give you the there we go. There's my onboard graphics right now. And the formation lap has begun, ladies and gentlemen. We are on lap number 0, that formation lap of 31. And let's go over your starting lineup for the Singapore Grand Prix. Bambuki is on pole position. D-Swish in second position. Nip Steven in an impressive third on the Red Bull. Dorian Alpha in fourth. And Pazosaurus Rex championship leader in fifth position. Lazo in 11th, followed by his teammate Motor City 2000 in 7th. And Got Any Weeb in the Mercedes in 8th position. Juan in 9th position in the Haas. And Blend Machine has started in P10. And if we look on his car, it is the medium compound tire on that car. So he did have a free choice of tire, and that's going to be a excellent opportunity for Blend Machine in the race. F1 racer, Season 9 Silver Class champion. Unfortunately, right now, all the way down in P11 after a 5-place grid penalty affecting his race position. Robin Hood Lawyer in the AlphaTauri is down in 12th position. Turkey Whacker in 13th. Fire Up Flow had a crash and was out of qualifying very early on. He's down in 14th. And 15th position for same TJ, who did not set a lap time in qualifying. And we are about to get underway in just a few moments' time here, ladies and gentlemen. The formation lap currently underway. Drivers getting their tires up to optimal temperature. There is your predicted pit stop strategy, powered by Amazon Web Services. A 2-stop strategy, either soft, medium, medium, or soft, medium, hard. We expect it to be the soft, medium, medium, though. Again, F1 Insights presented by AWS, as the drivers now about to begin to line up on their grid position slots. And just before we get to the 5 red lights, Fabregas, talk us through one more time. Who is your predicted winner for this race?
Oh, I mean, at the moment, I'm looking at Bambuki right now, sitting on pole position. That's a strong place to be. D-Swish in second position in Drivers' Championship as well. D-Swish sitting in third position in the championship on 33 points right now. Great opportunity they have to actually make up some points here on Pazosaurus Rex. But let's not pull out Lotso, who and F1 racer, just 32 points and 30 points right behind them in the driver's standings. So it's Singapore, it's anybody's race, but it looks like the Renaults are very, very strong, as well as the McLarens as far as the constructor standing is going. And I do believe the Haas as well, with Pazosaurus and Juna Debreu. I think they have a few more points than they should be having, but we're getting ready to start, so I'm going to let you take that away.
The final Ferrari of same TJ gets into his grid position slot. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, getting ready for the 5 red lights. 15,000 horsepower line up on the grid for the silver class. And it's 2 lights, 3, 4, 5. And the lights are out, and away we go, and it's Bambuki on pole position, who gets a pretty decent start, and it's D-Swish, who's got a fantastic start into turn number 1 and tries to take the lead of the race, and it's Bambuki who's gone off track, and he continues to keep the lead of the race, but on the inside is the McLaren of D-Swish, and there's major contact in the back, and it looks like and there's an Alfa Romeo who's gone into the air, and that's Motor City 2000, who is down at 15th, and that was a major crash in the back, but nonetheless, D-Swish in second position. Bambuki has got got a pretty decent start nonetheless, though, and in first position he remains. D-Switch in second, and Dorian Alpha up to third position. More front wing end plates are flying off cars as there's been major carnage on this first lap, but at the beginning there it was Motor City who has major damage on the front wing, who was up in the air early on in that first part of the lap, and that was some major airtime. He got a major accident in this race. No yellow flag, and all we've had on that fire flow in a virtual safety car as he is in the wall. As you can see that the right tire is gone on his car. There was a major contact between somebody, but it is Fire Up Flo who not only is out of qualifying, now out of the race on lap number 1. Robin Hood Lawyer has gotten a severe collision penalty of 5 seconds, and he is not going to be too happy about that one, but major carnage here and a VSC to start this race.
I've seen a couple collisions here and there. Great start by the Renaults with Bambuki and D-Swish. Bambuki did really cut turn 2 there just a little bit. Understand why, though, because you don't want to cause any problems. Looked like Nipsteam in the Red Bull lost a little bit of his front right end plate there. I think Motor City caused quite of the problems from the beginning. I think his car is ghosted, but at the same time, the game thinks it's still there. So really interesting to see that, because I think that the penalties that got handed out to Robin Lawyer, and now we're seeing Nipstein really dropping back as he goes into the pits.
Oh, and there's a spin! Bambuki's been spun round! He spins the car around, puts too much power on the rear wheels, and D-Switch is going to lead this Singapore Grand Prix, and this is some major drama here in the race. Second in the championship, Bambuki has spun himself round, and he is down near bottom of the track in 12th position, and now D-Switch leads your Singapore Grand Prix.
Yeah, very unfortunate to see that. I was just trying to get through what happened on the first lap, and then all of a sudden we've already got crazy things happening. I think I've got a major glitch going on at the moment. It says Robin Hood Lawyer is in first place. He should not be. It says we're on lap 3, so I think that's going to correct itself. Sorry if I'm going to make a mistake here. I think D-Swish is in first place. Dorian Alpha in second. We do have Rex all the way up to third place now, right? With Lotso and Blend Machine sitting 5th and 6th. So unfortunate for the Renault driver there. There we go. Everything is kind of leveled back out for me. Same TJ, though, in the Ferrari. What a great job he started with the virtual safety car still out up to 8th place without putting in a time. And his teammate Ferrari up in the 10th, showing starting on the mediums and can go to the hards, presented by AWS as well. Seeing about tire strategy. So really interesting start. We still got Bambuki back here at 11th, it looks like. Motor City, I think, is kind of the one that is making the glitches. I can't see if he's still in or out at the moment, but I did see his car was like half ghosted. Somebody hit him that pushed his car into somebody else's car, and I think that's how the other 2 drivers, I believe it was Robin Hood Lawyer and somebody else, got their 5-second penalties.
Dorian has a drive-through penalty, speeding under the VSC.
Penalty now. That's another glitch that I have noticed with this game. I've seen that happen a lot in this game rather than 2019.
Got interrupted here as Dorian Alpha is under pressure right now. Pazosaurus Rex is putting the pressure on him in the DRS range, and he was almost about to make an overtake there into the turn here. But nonetheless, we're on lap number 3 now, actually lap number 3, and DRS has been enabled, and you can now open up the rear flap if you're in 1 second of the car ahead of you. Of course, an assist to try to overtake the driver ahead, as we see Dorian Alpha there trying to challenge for the lead of the race, get some more points for the Renault outfit who is leading that Constructors Championship, as you mentioned. D-Switch, though, in the lead of this Singapore Grand Prix. Very hard to make overtakes around a street circuit like Singapore, and we'll have to wait and see if they can get the right opportunity to do so, as we see a few passes down the pack as, ooh, look at that. F1 Racer on the inside of Blend Machine has made a move, and Blend Machine down to 11th. F1 Racer showing why he's a defending champion from Season 9. He's not having the best of race right now, down in 10th position after that grid penalty, but looks to make up some quick progress. He's got Nip Steven, who is down in 9th position now, ahead of him with DRS, with overtake, and this should be a keen, easy move, and he is going to do just that. And no, on the inside still is Nip Steven, and he really loses the back end of the car there, and F1 Racer has a 3-second time penalty for a corner cut, and he really extended the track there a little bit, and that is unfortunate for him. He's going to have to deal with that near the end of the race, trying to limit those penalties. Already got one early, and whew, almost cut the front wing off of Nip Stevens' car, but we'll get back to that soon.
To maybe ask you about, is it better to take a 3-second penalty to get past somebody?
I don't think. I think.
Track position.
No, that was a major. That was a major impact into the wall. That was Nip Steven. He is lucky to still have a wheel on that car, because that was a major high-speed impact into the wall there. I don't know if
it doesn't look like he lost any bit of his front wing either. I think it was just the hard tires. He spun that car straight around, put nothing but tires on the wall. Didn't lose a piece of his front wing. But, of course, he did come in under the virtual safety car and put those hards on, so I think they were just not ready. The rears were not quite heated up enough to take that torque that he threw on it right coming out of the last turn in there. So, but well done by him to turn the car around. We do have Dorian Alpha and D-Swish. This is a really close battle here at this for first place, so we definitely can't take our eyes off of them.
So there was a contact there. Nip Steven, though, still okay, but he has lost, of course, a bundle of time to Blend Machine. Blend Machine, 2.6 seconds, has lost a bundle of time to F1 Racer, who has a mile hood of time. 22 seconds back from Bambiku. I am just having a bad day in terms of pronouncing these names, but nonetheless, 3.2 seconds back from Got Any Weeb. And there is the pit window open for the medium tires between lap 5 and 8 for a 2-stop strategy to get onto a new set of medium tires and then go till softs at the end of the race. Lap number 5, drivers really unstable at the back end there, as you saw a little bit in the background as we were watching on Dorian, the Haas of Pazosaurus Rex and Lazo, who are in a battle right now, as Lazo makes an easy move with a lockup into the turn there on Pazosaurus Rex, but both drivers looked unstable out of the corner, and drivers just have to be a little bit more careful putting on the power, as they don't want to. Ooh, there is contact into the wall, and I think Robin Hood Lawyer in the AlphaTauri, has he had a problem? Yes, he does, and you can see that is pretty much no front wing on that car. A 1990s plank, as you might call that front wing, as he's going to have to go into the pit lane and replace that, as he's on that medium compound tire and will most likely go onto a new set of mediums as he's within a pit stop window, but unfortunately for him, into the wall, and that is going to prematurely bring up a pit stop for him.
Yeah, if anything, I think I would put on a set of mediums at the moment, because you only have one set of hards, and anything can happen around here. We're only on lap 5. But yeah, looking at D-Swish and Dorian Alpha right now, we need to remember that those two guys are only 7 points from each other in the Drivers' Championship here in Trinity Competitive Racing. This is round 4.
Ooh, and it's Dorian into the pits.
Looks like Dorian Alpha down into the pits, something we did mention in
Pazosaurus has had a spin. Pazosaurus has spun, and this race has gone from bad to worse, and that was in Sector 3, and he's got an end plate off the car. Those soft tires have given up on him rather quickly, and he is going to go into the pits, and he's going to make a pit stop for the medium compound tires you'd expect, and this race has just been absolutely near awful for Pazosaurus Rex.
This is Marina Bay Circuit. This is what we got to deal with. This is what we've got to worry about. But again, we were talking about in qualify that, if you can take your softs for 4 or 5 laps and then get off of them, that's probably the best way to go. It's going to be interesting to see here.
I don't understand this move at all. He's on the
tires.
That I have no reason. I don't really know why he'd want to do those hard tires. Those are not going to last till the end of the race, and I think he's unnecessarily done so. I think. We'll see if this works out for him, but I think this was the wrong decision here. But nonetheless, Pazosaurus does come back out on the hard compound tire. And Motor City ahead of him.
That he only has one set of hards for the race. He's got, you know, the mediums that he used in qualifying, and he's got another set of mediums. So it might be somewhere in there where he's trying to, you know, feel it out and try to figure it out. Maybe he's betting he can just wear his hards out, go as long as he can on them, and then pit again. Because, I mean, it is Singapore, and you have to expect a virtual safety car at some point. Somebody's going to make a mistake. Whether they just came out of the pits on lap 18 or something on their two-stop strategy. So it's always about, you know, thinking about it, projecting, and then anticipating as well what everybody else is going to do. As we do have the leader D-Swish dropping into the pits, but he does have a 6.5 second lead on Lotto right now. Who's coming into the pits is Bambuki coming into the pits. It looks like he is. Got any weeb? He's coming into the pits. So looks like Dorian Alpha, is he going to stay out? Because he's going to, ooh, this is going to be close.
And he does not. He does come into the pits.
He does come into the pits. I think they're far enough apart that they will not double stack. But I think that's going to put TCR Racer in first place. This is going to be close. Nope, it looks like D-Swish is going to stay out there just fine. But it's really going to be close when he comes up to Lazo here.
And they're going to come out side by side out of the pit lane. And this is some shades of Sebastian Vettel. Ooh, and Max Verstappen as into the wall was F1 Racer. And I don't think he has damage on the front wing. He's A-okay, but Lazo now behind F1 Racer in the slipstream, though. Is going to use some overtake, and I believe he's going to have DRS. Yes, he does. He's going to move to the outside lane, coming into the turn. Let's see if he can make the move happen. Still side by side, keeps it off of the exit curb, and now on the inside, a nice move, and Lazo is back into second position, and that was a nice little side by side action coming out of the pit lane.
That was absolutely fantastic racing from both of those guys. Absolutely wonderful to watch and be a part of, to actually see that on different compound tires. The hard tires, obviously, a little bit less grip and a little bit colder at the moment. So we're going to definitely see TCR try to come back through Sector 2 here before they get in, now into Sector 3. Of course, I think TCR Racer is going to be wanting to get back at him, but again, we are here at Marina Bay Circuit in Singapore under the lights, and it's really, really difficult to overtake. What a fantastic race we have had from the start. A lot of controversy. I mean, not controversy really, but a couple incidents. A little bit of lockup there from Lotso, it looked like. Great to see not using ABS. Do love to see that. That means people are prepared and confident in their driving skills and can gain a little bit into the braking zones. Yeah, I think we've had a fantastic race. Gottney Weep has just come in for the pits, put on the medium tires, and so did Bambuki as well. They're running with 0 lap olds. So that all happened. Blim Machine has moved up to 4th place, now using those hard tires, 3 lap old hard tires. I don't think he can take this to the end, do you?
It will be difficult. I think you can take them to the end. I think the only thing is that the tires really are hard to get into their optimal operating window, and then when you are at the end of those, the life, you're going to be at the end of the life on those tires, and it's going to be very iffy. But I think with pitting a little bit later, those drivers probably could get those hards till the end. It's whether or not, though, medium runners are going to be a little bit faster, being that they'll be on the softs near the end of the race. We'll have to wait and see, but nonetheless...
Bambuki and Blinn, are still battling here. Blim Machine and Bambuki have been going side by side almost, just a little bit here and there in the last sector that we just went through. Now into the second sector of lap 8. Bambuki on the medium tires, I think he's gotten by Blinn with no real trouble, but he's making a move, and TCR F1 Racer within half a second almost of Lotso, and then we've also got Gottney Weep really trying to push up in that Mercedes on Blend Machine on the 4 lap old hard tires versus the 0 lap old medium tires. So yeah, the hard tires are going to prove a little bit slower, especially in the middle of this race, but I found that they definitely don't wear as much, and once they actually really do get to temperature, they work really well. But what you just said, I'm gonna preface again, reiterate that once you get them a little bit too further down as far as their degradation is concerned, it's really hard to keep them in the optimal temperature. Really hard at the beginning, really hard at the end, but during that middle stint, they really do pretty well.
And we're watching on board with F1 Racer as he continues to follow Lazo 11, who is in second position in this Grand Prix. Also down, he got Any Weeb, who is currently 6th, 3/10 back from Blend Machine, putting him under pressure. And we got a pass down the end of the field as same TJ is into the pit lane, and he's going to make his first pit stop of the day on those medium tires, which look pretty worn. Motor City in 11th, and we have a pass up the field, and a big inside dive by Racer 85, and he has put himself in the second position. Lazo, we got a move by Got Any Weeb, who has made a move on Blend Machine and put himself into sixth position. And a nice move by him, and now he's got to see if Blend Machine can make a counter-offensive. Further back, we have Dorian Alpha and Juan making a battle right now. Ooh, looks like Dorian might make a move on the inside here. Not a general overtaking opportunity, and he decides to back out of it, but getting very close here for a battle right now, and about to come up to that hairpin. Are we going to see a move here? And he is going to make a move on the inside, but he's getting held up by now. The Red Bull is gone very slow, and that was Nips Steven, who now is going side by side with the Haas, and now but get passed by Dorian in that. Oh, and they're still side by side, the Haas and the Renault. What a battle right now, and now Nip Steven is going to dive on the outside, and he's going to try to make the move happen, but he's not going to be able to get it done. And wow, what a battle right now, getting tongue twisted with all of the action going on right now. And there is a yellow flag in Sector 1. Somebody's had a problem. It looks like it might be an Alfa, and it looks like to be an Alfa Romeo again.
Yeah, as we do have Bambuki down the inside of F1 Racer here into turns 1 and 2 here. A little bit of a push there. I think he pushed him outside. I'm sorry, that was must have been on Lotso. I'm really sorry for the confusion there, but Bambuki definitely did a little overtake there.
And Dorian has made the move on Juan again, and then Nip Steven is into the pit lane and is going to put on a brand new front wing. So he had damage on the front wing, and now here comes Juan.
From Dorian.
Ooh, and into the wall, Juan.
Not only did he get past Nip Stevens, but he also got past somebody else in that lap. So really great move from him going on Juan Abreu as well. So I think that was fantastic. Very gutsy, especially around here. You got to have a little bit of balls. You got to use your cojones as much as you can to navigate this course and try to split some of these guys, as he went right down the middle of those two going side by side.
Nip Steven has come out of the pit lane at 11th position behind Turkey Whacker in the Ferrari. We'll see if he can dispatch of him quickly in this race. There's another yellow flag, and Blend Machine's out of the race. And he has crashed right there in the middle of the track, and that is a full safety car deployed, and that has really thrown a wrench in this race for a few drivers. We're going to see who makes their pit stops now again, but that is a very big crash by Blend Machine as he sits in the middle of the track, and that's a full-on safety car.
That is the nastiest section there, the turns between 10 and 12. You've got the high speed, and then you want to get back on the throttle, but you got a quick left and right before you got to be massive on the brakes before that hairpin there. So really unfortunate to see Blend Machine retired there. So it is going to be a full course caution, it looks like, and we will definitely look and see how these guys are going to line up after they do their pit stops. We've already got a couple people in, but the leaders have not gotten around yet. I think they had already passed the start-finish straight, so it's going to be really interesting to watch how they finish up this last lap here before the full safety car.
So Blend Machine's claiming he got taken out by a lapped car, so I'm not too sure who that would have been, if it was, unless it was whatever been Motor City, St. TJ, or Robin Hood.
Motor City or Robin Lawyer, yeah, that would be it. That would be it. Unless Fire Up he DNF though, so his car can't be there anymore. So it could have been Motor City, it could have been Robin Lawyer. I think same TJ.
He's saying Robin Hood. Robin Hood was the driver who took him out. So we'll have to wait and see later on. They'll obviously review that incident, but not a good state of affairs for him, as Robin Hood is a full 2.5 seconds back on the rest of the pack.
Yeah, he's a couple minutes back. So he's the only one that really was lapped. I think Motor City might still be an AI car. So very unfortunate to see that as well, but yeah, not much we can do about it. People can take a look and the stewards can make a judgment. If anything, they can dock Robin Hood Lawyer something, but really unfortunate that happened. I'm just going to step away for 1 second. I will be right back on the safety car.
So we are under safety car conditions, lap number 11 of 31. And Blend Machine is out of the Grand Prix after apparently some sort of contact of Robin Hood Lawyer. and he is not going to be happy about that one. But D-Swish nonetheless is leading your Singapore Grand Prix in the McLaren. Lazo in the Alfa Romeo in second position, got any Weeb in third, and Wind Machine leaving the session in frustration. F1 Racer in fourth position, the Renaults in fifth and sixth. And this has really thrown the race almost sideways, as we see some drivers who were a little bit further down the grid now finding themselves in the top spots there, as Lazo has done a great job for himself, and Gattini Weeb as well in third position has done a really good job for himself. As we're on lap 12 now, as the safety car peels on for another lap. But an exciting race so far, some interesting and controversial moments already, and we're not even halfway through the entire race. But nonetheless, we will get on the racing conditions soon. And ooh, Robin Hood Lawyer is at a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And Robin Hood Lawyer has retired from the session. So whatever has happened in this race has not gone his way, and he is done. He is retired in the pit lane. They are still working on the car. Now Juan has retired from the session as well. So the other Haas car has retired, and he is retired in the pit lane. So multiple retirements already. Now only 11 runners in this Grand Prix. So Pazosaurus Rex currently last in this race, the only driver who will not score points as it stands right now. So the drivers are dropping like flies in this Grand Prix, and now there's only one driver out of point scoring positions. And now Juan has left the session, so he retired in the pit lane, not happy with his race. So 4 drivers out of this Grand Prix. Juan, Robin Hood Lawyer, Blend Machine, and Fire Up Flow. Blend Machine and Fire Up Flow having their own separate accidents in this Grand Prix. But nonetheless, D-Swish continues to lead ahead of Lazo, Gattini Weeb in third. The 2 Renaults 5th and 6th at the moment. Bambuki would like to get back up into those winning positions, see if he can challenge. Turkey Whacker, a very good contender here for some good points, up in 7th position after a pretty woeful qualifying session. Nip Steven in 8th. Not where he would like to be right now currently in this race. And Motor City 2000 is still in the race. Robin Hood Lawyer leaving the session in frustration for himself as well. Pazosaurus Rex is now in 10th, as Sam TJ is down in 11th. So he had a issue. He spun the car in some way or fashion, or made a pit stop. But nonetheless, Pazosaurus Rex finds himself back inside the points. But we should be getting under racing conditions soon. It should be the final lap of the safety car. Fabregas, you sound like you're back. And
yes,
we are in lap number 13 now of the safety car. Talk us through your reactions so far in the race. What's your opinion of the track incidents that you've seen so far?
Well, they're all real unfortunate. We have seen a couple people lose their rear end, maybe tag a little bit here and there. But what we were talking about was the last incident between Blend Machine and Robin Hood Lawyer. Looks like Robin Hood Lawyer has retired as well. So that's always going to set a precedent for perhaps, turning ghosting on or something like that. I don't want to get in that discussion, but I will offer the both sides of it. Ghosting on does permit, you can get past lapped cars really, really easy, but, it does take away. If ghosting is on, it takes away from the actual, realism of the actual race. So, unfortunate that it happened. That'll be something for, the TCR head honchos to really discuss if they want to change that. I don't even know if it's on. Sometimes things just happen in a blink of an eye, and there's nothing you can really do about it. So really, really unfortunate. But I also think that the safety car has set this race up to make for a fantastic end. So we're going to see all the cars bunch right back up. Everybody is going to pit stop if they want to. Of course, there is precedence to, maybe stay out and don't pit. Get your track position. It looks like everybody's on pretty fresh tires. I don't see anybody with really, really longevity on the tires, except for Turkey Whacker on those hards. Now, he could do something really funny here. Safety car's coming in, so I don't think he will. If the safety car stayed out, he might come in and try to put on a set of mediums to take them to the rest of the race. But we're definitely going to see D-Swish now really back the field up and let that safety car get into the pit lane and accelerate as soon as he can. Yeah, I think he should be backing up a little bit further and waiting for that safety car to round turn 23, and that way he comes out straight. Yeah, unfortunate for everything. I think Motor City is still not even in the race. Hopefully he's ghosted. I don't know if that works or if that's happened, but we can go look at Pezosaurus right now. Motor City is back in.
Let's pay attention right now to D Swish, who's about to start the race right now as the safety car peels into the pit lane. D Swish coming around the final turn, has not yet started the race. Lazo wants to get underway, and D Swish gets on the power. I think he waited a little bit too long, but Lazo nonetheless actually gets a very bad start right now. We already got an incident so far in sectors 1 and 3 as a bunch of drivers in the bottom of the pack here. Turkey Whacker and the Ferraris are making contact. Turkey Whacker all the way down in 9th position now. Motor City 2010th. There's another yellow flag further up the pack. Motor City now down in 11th. And he is having more and more problems in this race, and it has just not been very good for the Alfa Romeo driver, who looks to be having some connection problems. And now Gattani Weeb and F1 Racer are going side by side now, and Gattani Weeb almost lost the back end of the car there as he gets overtaken by the Racing Point, and now Bambuki is back under, putting on pressure on the Mercedes car. He's got his teammate Dorian Alpha behind him, and Nip Steven as well, putting pressure on the Renaults, as we have the Haas of Pazosaurus Rex in 8th position now, getting some more moves up in third pack. Ooh, tried to make a move on the inside of Nip Steven, but a little bit too far back for a move of that nature, and Nip Steven almost goes on the inside of Dorian Alpha. Again, a very unorthodox overtaking position. But no DRS at the moment, though. They will have to wait for that to reactivate. But we're back under racing conditions again, and we've already seen some nice side-by-side battles early on. And there's another incident now. Sam TJ and Motor City are having problems, and Motor City is becoming a bit of a danger, I think, for some of these drivers, because his connection has been all over the place, and we have seen multiple yellow flags pop up due to an incident with Motor City and another driver. So the connection has been a problem, and now Turkey Whacker is in last place. So this has been a dreadful start for both of the Ferraris and Motor City in the Alfa Romeo, but nonetheless 1.9 seconds is now the lead for D Swish on Lazo, and that is crucial for him to continue to control this race.
Yeah, he got a really good start. I thought he left it a little bit late, as we do have what looks to me like Nip Steven trying to go down, now going around the outside. Maybe there was a little bit of contact. That is
Dorian Alpha into the wall,
and he's reset the track.
Ooh, that's not something I necessarily agree with. I understand you want to reset, but he just reset in the middle of a few drivers, and that could have caused some major damage. He has damage on the end plate on his front wing, and that was very, very scary, and that could have ended a few drivers' races. And now look at this. F1 Racer is putting major pressure on Lazo and is going to try to make a move around the outside again. Not an overtaking opportunity, but he's going to do it anyway. And what an amazing move on the Alfa Romeo. Gets spun around by Gattani Weeb, and now Lazo down in 5th position, and that was a major incident for him. And now we got, look at this, we got Pazosaurus Rex, who's trying to make an inside move on Nip Steven, and the cufflinks are flying off these guys, and they're putting on the boxing mugs, and this is going to be a major battle, as now Nip Steven and Lazo are battling. Lazo has to concede, and now Pazosaurus Rex might make a move on the inside, and the boxing gloves are coming on in this race, and it is getting very nasty with some of these drivers. Nip Steven trying to get ahead of Bambuki, but it was an amazing move by F1 Racer around the outside. Not a normal overtaking opportunity, but he made it happen anyway. He puts himself, Gattani Weeb, who got that move, but nonetheless puts himself in the 3rd position in this race. And now Bambuki has made a pit stop. So Bambuki second in the championship now all the way down to 9th, maybe about to get passed by Turkey Whacker. Oh, this is not what you want to do.
They are going to double stack.
No, they are going to double stack, because there's a front wing change.
Is there a wing change there?
There is. No. And this has been a disaster of strategy for the Renaults. Finally, Bambuki comes out, and still waiting longer is Dorian, who also has to make a front wing change. And now they get ready, and this has cost Dorian Alpha so much time in the pit lane. Turkey Whacker.
I got to interrupt you, but Nip Steven has been tearing it up through the field. I'm not saying he's been clean and not dangerous. I think he's the one that really caused the big problem for Bambuki back there in the first sector of the last lap, lap 15. but making that Red Bull and pushing it to its limits, and he has moved up to third already. We do have F1 Racer sitting in second. D-Swish has gotten away pretty well. We're going to see if that gap really slows down. But yeah, we got to go back to the Renaults there and the strategy. I think both of them had some issues on that 14 and 15, and both had to come in, but no communication between the two drivers. That's really going to affect them coming into the last end of this race.
But if one of you is an end plate, can you not stay out for one more lap? I mean, it wasn't like they had serious damage on the car. I think it would have been better for the benefit of both drivers to stay out, at least one of them stay out and wait a little bit, but nonetheless, they don't do so, and now both of them are way down the field. Bambuki 27 seconds back from Motor City 2000, and he is going to have to make up some major progress in this race unless another safety car does end up coming out. Now Lazo is going to try to make a move on the inside of Ganani Weeb, and Ganani Weeb continues to keep the outside lane and does in fact continue to keep fourth position. Now Pazosaurus Rex is going to put major pressure on him. Lazo, though, has gotten way better traction than Ganani Weeb, but not an overtaking opportunity for him, but now makes a switchback on the Mercedes driver, and he should have this position. It's going to be a drag race down the line, and now the Haas and the Mercedes are battling. Pazosaurus Rex now on the inside of Ganani Weeb, and Ganani Weeb has lost 2 positions in just one corner, and it's been a pretty bad start to lap number 17 for Ganani Weeb, but now Pazosaurus Rex wants to look ahead and get past Lazo and put himself into 4th in this race after what has been a pretty awful race for him so far.
I'm really looking at TJ here in that Ferrari now. He's going to put the pressure on Ganani Weeb in that Mercedes car as well. TJ's doing really well to move back up. I think that last time that they had an issue with the Alfa Romeo and Motor City, I think Turkey Whacker in the Ferrari got the worst of that. Looks like Motor City is back on, because I wouldn't see anybody really lose the rear end if they were under AI control. So maybe it's just his internet connection and he's glitching in and out. Could be a problem, and that's why we're having a few issues. Really unfortunate to see that. I can't blame anybody for that. I mean, obviously, it sucks, but we've got a great battle in here between 4th and 8th place as well. Yeah, we're separated by 3 seconds from 1st and 2nd, 4 seconds from 2nd and 3rd. And
F1 Racer has another 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, cut chicane or extended track limits. But nonetheless, we begin lap number 18, and look at Pazosaurus Rex about to try to put under pressure, tries to look on the outside, but ultimately Lazo closes the door on that opportunity, and now a way too deep into the corner is Lazo, and now Pazosaurus is going to take that advantage. They're going to go side by side, coming now down to turn number 4, and it is going to be Pazosaurus who takes that position, and now Lazo might be under pressure from Ganani Weeb. No, actually, sorry, my perspective a little off on there. Sam TJ is going to make a last-minute dive on the outside. A lockup from him up into 6th position in this race. What a major move from the Ferrari driver, Sam TJ, who has had a very tough race up to 6th position with an amazing move on Ganani Weeb. Ganani Weeb continues to lose time, and now Motor City 2000 is all over the back of the Mercedes driver.
Yeah, really interesting to see that, especially with Ganani Weeb on those medium tires. Maybe those 10-lap-old tires.
He's got damage on the front wing, end plate damage on the front wing.
So yeah, now see that. So very interesting. But yeah, I did want to give a shout out to Sam TJ. When I first started driving, I had been driving after I got my wheel, and I started to go with no assist. He taught me how to brake with no ABS around Bahrain, and really helped me out. So big kudos to him. Really appreciate it. Sam TJ, if you're watching, I haven't raced with him in quite a while. I think our schedules just don't really interact, but definitely want to give him a shout out while I can using this platform. Motor City, though, is still putting Ganani Weeb under pressure. I don't know if there's something really going on. Ganani Weeb, yeah, he does look like he's got a little bit of damage on that left front end plate. Of course, he's got 10-lap-old mediums. He's going to have to come in and pit at some point. And I wanted to ask you
now he's got a penalty. Now Motor City's going to make a move on the inside in the turn 1, and Motor City with an easy move puts himself in the 7th position, and there is major end plate damage on that car, which is going to affect the turn in a lot. Motor City, does he get better traction at Ganani Weeb? Yes, he does. and now Gani Weeb down to 8th position and now losing more and more time in the corners. I think it's time to make a pit stop and get on to the soft tires, possibly until the end of the race. It will be tough with that many laps left to go, but there's not too many more options for him. Ooh, and he has a big lockup and almost went into the wall again and almost cost more damage on his front wing. So I think that is time to say, let's get into the pit lane and get onto a new set of tires. Somebody asking about the tires right now. The top 4 on the medium compound tire, the next 3 on the hards. We got another 3 on the mediums, and then Turkey Whacker actually is on the soft compound tire, 3-lap-old softs. Those are not going to make it until the end, so I don't really know what Turkey Whacker was thinking on that occasion, but he is going to have to make another pit stop for sure at the end of this race to get onto at least mediums.
Want to talk about. So we've got 12 laps left, 13 laps left. As we get ready to see the leaders getting ready to come across the line, so we're gonna have 12 laps left, and they're all.
D-Swish into the podium, D-Swish in the pits.
He's going to the pits now, so I was thinking maybe these guys need to go ahead and pit. Maybe they can take a set of mediums. I don't know if I would want to take a set of soft tires around here that many laps. So put on a nice set of fresh mediums and get back out there and go with it, because I think these guys that are on the medium tires sitting with 8 laps, we're looking at the top 3 right now. That looks like Gottney Weep is coming into the pits with his 11-lap-old mediums. The 12-lap-old hards of Lotso, I don't think those are going to hold up till the end of the race. So we got D-Swish coming out on the mediums in 6th place. Is this really going to help out somebody like Bambuki and somebody like Dorian Alpha that are on those 2-lap-old mediums? They're going to take them the rest of the way and really going to hurt TCR and Nip on those 8-lap-old, 8-lap-olds. And even Pezosaurus. Are they going to try to pit again and go for a set of softs here in the next 3 or 4 laps? Or are they going to try to take those medium tires up to almost 20 laps?
I mean, you can see the graining on the medium tires. There's a definite line starting to form near the outside of the tires. And that means some serious graining is starting to come onto effect for Pezosaurus and probably a few of the other medium tires. You can see his cars start to slow down a little bit, and that line becomes more and more definite. So Pezosaurus Rex might have to be making a pit stop rather soon, lap 20 of 31. If they would just wait a little bit longer, they can get 10 more laps to go, probably put on softs and go pretty far into this race. D-Swish, though, it will come back in the lead of the race. This undercut looks like it should work for him. He's now on new medium tires, though, and we'll see if this is going to work out for him. But I
definitely agree with D-Swish and your undercut issue there. Exactly.
Well, here comes Nip Steven into the pits.
And Dorian Alpha both. We talked about their double stack and how much it hurt them. Definitely hurt Dorian Alpha quite a bit. But Bambuki has made massive amounts of times up. He was 27 seconds off of Motor City when he came out of the pits. Now he's less than 13 seconds behind him and only 5 seconds behind D-Swish.
I want to talk about D-Swish here. Is he going to come out ahead of Nip Steven, who's about to come out of the pit lane? He's just about to enter the end exit, and now there goes the McLaren. And I think, yes, D-Swish has gone ahead of the Red Bull of Nip Steven coming out of the pit lane, and that means that the guys ahead of him are way under pressure right now to possibly lose some positions. And now Bambuki might make a move on Nip Steven as well. They're going side by side coming out of the exit of the pit lane. Nip Steven, though, keeps it. Bambuki now is going to put him under pressure. He's got DRS, he's got overtaken. This should be an easy move on the inside, side by side through there, and he just made the move on the inside. Now a move possibly on the inside for Nip Steven, but unfortunately he has to back out of it a little bit too far back. Doesn't want to cause an unnecessary accident, but nonetheless, now that D-Swish has gone ahead of Nip Steven, the other guys might be sweating a little bit on their foreheads because they have to contend with the fact that D-Swish probably will take back the lead of this race unless they decide not to make pit stops.
Yeah, I don't know what this is really interesting because we've got Lotso and Motor City sitting in second and third teammates in third and fourth in the Alfa Romeos, both on at least 10-lap-old hard tires. Can they take them to the end? Yes, they can. The interesting thing that we're going to look at is TCR F1 Racer and Pezosaurus Rex. Are they going to take those medium tires another 8 or 9 laps here? It's going to be really, really difficult. I think D-Swish right now is in control of this race. And I think Bambuki got the better run out of it between the Renaults. He's going to have to make up a lot of time. we got Nip Steven, sorry, he's got a good set of medium tires on. I think he's going to be able to close that gap on Bambuki. So I think we're really looking at D-Swish, Bambuki, and Nip Steven at the moment for who can really put the pressure by the end of this race on those top three.
Well, Nip Steven is putting the pressure on Bambuki, is back in DRS range. Now we'll try to put some overtake, but he's got very little battery to play with, so really, he's just got to rely on his DRS, and I don't think he's going to be able to make a move way too far back on this occasion, and it's got to stay behind the Renault of Bambuki, and he does not have a lot of time, as somebody asking for gap to leaders right now. So D-Swish 22 seconds back right now, so I believe he'll just make it out ahead of Pazosaurus, or sorry, ahead of F1 Racer if he does in fact make his pit stop. Again, the longer he waits, the smaller that gap is going to be. There's a yellow flag in Sector 2. Same TJ is out of the race. So same TJ who we were talking about, I can't get a look on him because Turkey Whacker's far too... Wait, we might be able to.
Might see one here.
See where he was, but it looks to be a this right-hander, and there is his carcass right there on the side of the track, and that
right at turn 7.
And that is unfortunate. F1 Racer still
late on the brakes, probably a little bit of lockup, couldn't get the car stopped in time, and went into the wall with a little bit too much force, and that front wheel comes right off. Very unfortunate too.
F1
I thought he was doing really, really well there after the last safety car to come in and pit and put those tires on.
F1 Racer stayed out, so he has not made a pit stop yet. And let's not get any kind of gap not on. But nonetheless,
I don't know that he's going to want to. I think he's going to stay out.
But it's going to be very difficult on those medium tires. And I mean, you can see the kind of wear that those tires are dealing with. I mean, if we look at the detail on the tires, he has been on those tires for 11 laps, and he's got a few more laps to go in this race. So he is really pushing the limit of those medium tires. So we'll have to wait and see. D-Swish, if he does have to pit, D-Swish should take the lead of this race again. Has D-Swish made a blunder in pitting again? We'll have to wait and see. But nonetheless, it's going to be interesting. F1 Racer, this is a two-stop strategy so far for him. So we'll see if he makes a pit stop again.
The gap between D-Swish and Motor City at the moment, it's right holding nice and steady right at 2 seconds. But D-Swish really needs to make a move here and quick and get past Motor City. So he can put himself in 4th position, and then he can actually use the last 6 or 7 laps here to push hard as he can on those nice fresh mediums and get to the podium again. Lots of even with he can you can take your hard tires 20 laps around here. That's not a problem. What we're asking is F1 Racer and Pegasaurus Rex going to take their medium tires 20 laps around here? That's the question we're really looking at right now. I think D-Swish really needs to get a move on and start burning some ERS. It looks like he's got plenty to burn. He only used about 50% of what he was allowed to burn in that last lap.
We got to talk about here. Nip Stevens about to make a challenge on the inside of Bambuki on the inside of turn 1. And that's a major move by the Red Bull driver. And he gets the job done and puts himself in the 6th position. Bambuki was not expecting that move. And look how far back he is. He might not even be able to challenge into the next DRS zone. And that was a major move by Nip Steven, who did not care at all. Let's see if Bambuki can make a challenge again. Back in the slipstream, looking for a move on the inside, but too far back. And Nip Steven has taken control of 6th position.
We'll have to say, though, that and this is going to be up for stewards, and it's going to be up to drivers to put their own footage out there. I think it was Nip Steven that went around the outside of that exact same turn and put Bambuki into the wall in the first place. Now, Bambuki could have given him more room. I don't know. I wasn't quite on board with them and watching it completely, but I know that those two did make contact, and that was when Bambuki went into the wall on lap, I think it was 16 or 17 or maybe 15, somewhere right in there. But yeah, still looking at D-Switch, and he has now closed that gap to less than a second on Motor City.
And
so I'm assuming by the end of this lap, he's going to be right behind him and get past him into turns 1 and 2. Nip Steven, though, right on the back of them. I mean, he's caught up as much, too. I was talking about Bambuki really making a point to catch back up to the leaders. But Nip Steven, what an amazing run he's had. A little bit of a rear end slip there coming out of turns 21, now into 22, 23. Going to open that DRS as well. The D-Swish has, again, down into turn 1 and 2. They need, if they want to make something out of this race, they need to get past Motor City 2000 this lap.
Nip Steven in the slipstream of D-Swish. So D-Swish is going to have troubles here, and it doesn't look like TCR Racer 85 has any plans of pitting in this Singapore Grand Prix. And here comes Nip Steven, but here goes D-Swish, who's got DRS on Motor City. He's going to make a dive on the outside. He's going to look to do it, late braking. He's gone, and now look at this. Nip Steven takes control of the situation because of that lockup. Now it's D-Swish on the inside, and ooh, Nip Steven is taking it. Wow, what a move by him. And now Nip Steven is going to look to make a move on the inside of Motor City 2000. He's side by side of him, and here we go. Nip Steven in the inside. Oh, there's contact between them, and that's a front wing damage, and D-Swish is into the wall, and he's got a major front wing damage, and D-Swish's race has gone away from him, and that's some major contact near the end of this race, and D-Swish will be fuming, and that's a virtual safety car on lap number 25.
Oh, man, I mean, that was great racing. It definitely was. I tell you what, I'm not quite sure who started where and here and there. If I had a vote at the moment, I would definitely give my driver of the day to Nip Steven. Not just for driver of the day. And yeah, maybe he did make contact with somebody and they could have let off and let him by, or given him more room, or maybe he could have given somebody else more room. But this man, Nip Steven, he's got balls. He's got balls.
He's got it, but is it being a little bit too reckless? He
doesn't let off, but
is
he goes for it.
But is it being too reckless? Because now Nip Steven,
I don't think so. I don't think it was too reckless.
Well, but D-Swish has no front wing now, so he's got to make a pit stop. This has basically ruined his race, and now we see the F1 racer has made the pit stop, and he is going to get back in 5th position. The guys ahead of them have not made their pit stops, but they may surely have to, and now D-Swish is basically, his race is over. This is it.
I don't know. Like I said, there's a lot of things I didn't see Nip Steven. If he did anything wrong, then yes, he deserves to be penalized for it, obviously.
I think it was just a little forceful into the corner.
That man has balls, man. He puts his car in a position and he overtakes and he goes for it. So nothing wrong with doing that. But I mean, obviously, if he's dangerous, that's a different story. And I can't say yes or no that he was dangerous. I can't say that no, he wasn't, because maybe some of those instances were. But I wasn't riding on board with him saying that's dangerous. I can't actually say that myself, but I will say that man's got balls, man. He'll put his car in there and he'll try to get at it. So respect to that, but at the same time, if he is doing it dangerously, then yeah, he can't.
We'll have to wait and see nonetheless what's said, because there was contact, and I don't believe it was Bambuki. I believe it was Motor City 2000 that was involved in that situation, because he's down in 8th position now as well. Bambuki has come off pretty well. He's in 4th position. He was near the lead because he made a pit stop, if I'm not too mistaken. Currently sitting in 4th position, but nonetheless, Nip Steven is in 3rd position now, chasing down Lazo 11, and he is about to find himself in 2nd position in this race. And now look at this, already making the run on towards turn number 1, and on the inside comes Nip Steven, still side by side of Lazo, is giving him nothing, and then he gave a little bit of a nudge on Lazo, and he gets himself into 2nd position. Just a little bit of wheel banging, but we do like to see that. That's not too bad. And now it looked like Lazo was going to stay side by side, and then
turn really well. He is. I've seen Nip Steven take that turn 5 there. He has always been at high speed there. That's where he makes up.
Look at this. TCR Racer is now battling with Bambuki, and he's made the move on him.
Back at him. I just think those 19-lap-old hard tires, they're not going to hold up to what Nip Steven is running with his 5-lap-old mediums.
Pazosaurus Rex in the lead of this race, lap 27 of 31, and he will be very happy to be in this position. He's about 7.2, but did he hit the wall there? Is there front wing damage? No, I thought I saw something fly off some kind of car, but nonetheless, Pazosaurus Rex in the lead, 6.9 seconds, so it is decreasing rapidly. Nip Steven on newer tires, looking to make. Ooh, look at this racer on the inside of Lazo, and a nice move on the inside that puts himself into 3rd position. Lazo is losing positions by the turn, and that is going to be in 4th position now, and now he's got Bambuki 2nd in the championship behind him, trying to possibly make a move on Lazo and get himself in the 4th position, as it would be a nice recovery drive, what has been a tipsy-turvy race for pretty much everybody.
Yeah, I have to say that it's been a fantastic race. Obviously, at Singapore, we're at the Marina Bay Circuit, and very tough race, physically demanding. Concentration has to be high. We've had a couple glitches. We've had to restart. We've made new lobbies. Looking at Phesasaurus Rex, he had a terrible qualifying session, but is now leading this race. Taking those medium tires have to be screaming. Oh, and that's Nip Steven, who is now spun around turn 5.
And does he have damage? It looks like he's A-okay, but Nip Steven, he was in the podium positions, and he spun the car around, and that's put him in 5th position. And we are talking about driver of the day. Well, those are kind of things that affect your driver of the day status, because now he's out of the podium.
But I have to say that, I can't give him driver of the day. Now we've got Lazo, who wants to put it on Bambuki. I don't think that overtake should happen. Bambuki's been an incredible driver today. I think he started on pole position. But Phesasaurus Rex at the moment, I think he started, 6th or 7th? And all the way up to number 1. TCR F1 racer didn't have a great qualifying as well. But a lot of guys did drop out. Very unfortunate. But I think we've got a really good, clean race around here. Somewhat clean. We've had some contacts. There's been a little bit of nudging. There's been some wheel-to-wheel racing. But I haven't seen anybody dive bomb, completely. I haven't seen anybody side pod anybody. Nobody's really messing anybody up. Nobody's putting their front wheel on their rear wheel.
Except the beginning of the race where we saw Alfa Romeo in the air.
Well, I just have to say, as much as I have commentated for TCR, which isn't a lot, usually I do the Platinum with Blend Machine, and we commentate together. The races have always been fantastic. Drivers are usually
we got to talk about here real quick. We got to talk about the leader of the race here, because F1 Racer is closing up quickly on Phesasaurus Rex. Those tires are coming near the end of their life cycle, and now in DRS he's got overtake. Phesasaurus Rex is a sitting duck here. Here comes F1 Racer with those soft compound tires on the inside, still side by side, and on the outside still, and F1 Racer 85 has taken the lead of the Singapore Grand Prix on lap 29 of 31, and F1 Racer, I think, can kiss the trophy here. Oh, we don't want to jinx anybody here. Dorian Alpha and Nip Steven, and Nip Steven is back in the wall again. There's been contact between him and Nip Steven, now down in 6th, and now
he didn't take any damage.
Now Any Weeb is going to make a pass on him, though, and now Motor City might do so as well with major slipstream. Yes, he will, and Nip Steven has lost so many positions. Now Motor City is trying to make a big move around the outside, and this is major contact side by side, and that was some major wheel banging here as Motor City trying to force the issue on Any Weeb, but Any Weeb defends it well, but now still on the inside, and there's a yellow Sector 2 flag. Did somebody have contact of somebody? Nonetheless, Any Weeb keeps the position.
Nip Steven, you're driving slow.
Oh, there was a yellow flag somewhere with a switch.
But yeah, we've got to go back to the lead. No, not really.
No, because of 3.1 seconds.
Weeb, that's doing a great job there with the DRS Open. Motor City 2000 trying to get past him just a little bit. Around the outside, he wants to go. Oh, and
he's gonna almost force him off track.
Should have.
Wow,
nice
look
job
at this.
there. Holding on to the contact and embracing it almost, turning that right front wheel in and getting past Any Weeb there. I was looking at Nip Steven there. As many times as I've seen him hit the wall today, he hasn't taken any damage.
Nip Steven is almost put in the wall there, though, coming out the exit. Lap 30 of 31, and I don't believe
I don't know. I'm not. Maybe it's not me that should point this out, but I mean, if the guy's got a cheat code running or something like that, then because he's I've seen him hit the wall a couple times, and he's not taking it.
We might be. I don't know what it's on. I don't know if it's on full or reduced, but nonetheless, F1 Racer 85 is leading this race 4.2 seconds after passing Phesasaurus Rex. Has been smooth sailing on that soft compound tire, and on the penultimate lap, he is leading this race, and it looks to be all signed and sealed for F1 Racer unless he makes a mistake here. But I don't think this driver is prone to do that.
No, and we're looking at that. We're seeing F1 Racer. He's going to move up the ranks quite a bit. I think he missed a couple of the first couple of races here in TCR Silver. So yeah, Pesosaurus obviously is going to finish second, we think. But I'm sorry, Bambuki is definitely looking to change that. Would like to take a few points off of him, as he's probably his biggest rival at the moment with Dorian Alpha. Now, Rendos have looked really, really strong around here. I think Pesosaurus has been carrying the Alphas, I'm sorry, the Haas cars around here. But and then we see F1 Racer representing with those pink Mercedes.
If you have enjoyed the race, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to Trinity Competitive Racing. Make sure to join us tomorrow at 8:15 EST for the Golden class, and then Thursday for the Platinum class. Again, same time, 8:15 EST, and you are going to be watching the Singapore Grand Prix. Silver class has put on an absolute show, an amazing, exciting, dramatic race here. Bambuki gets a 3-second time penalty, and Pesosaurus Rex has passed him. Bambuki, is he having problems in this race? Does he got past, of course, though, but Bambuki now might be under pressure from Lazo.
There on the last lap and quite couldn't get it done. He had to back out of it.
But now he's under pressure from Lazo.
Which is really interesting because he really did. I mean, he went for it, and I have no problems with that. If you're on the last lap, you think you can do it, go for it. Get it done. But at the same time, he really had to pull out of it because he knew better. He could have ended both of their races, and they both could have been out of the top 10.
But F1 Racer 85.
Really close. We're going to have a fantastic final lap.
Oh, F1 Racer 85 nonetheless is coming through the final sector. Bambuki is putting under pressure on the Haas's, but F1 Racer has had a fantastic race, helped by that crash from D-Swish, but nonetheless he's going to come across the line, and he is going to win the Singapore Grand Prix. An amazing victory, but now we got to go quickly to the back here as we have a midway battle for second position in this race. Bambuki putting the pressure on Pesosaurus. Lazo behind, but Pesosaurus is probably going to keep it. Bambuki might drop some positions. Lazo will take third position and get the final podium place here. Bambuki drops the fourth. Dorian Alpha will finish in fifth and round off the top five, but F1 Racer has won the Singapore Grand Prix.
Yeah, what a great race we just had. I'm going to go ahead and try to send out some invites to see if we can get these podium finishers here.
But what a race from start to finish. A awesome race. We had some major drama. We had safety cars. We had big crashes. We had amazing overtakes. But I think that's a glitch right there. Oh, no. Wait a minute. No.
Yeah, what's happened?
Motor City. I just saw Motor City on my screen win the race, but F1 Racer, I do believe, is the winner. Wait a minute. No. What? The Alfa Romeo of Motor City has won. No. F1 Racer has won the race, but he does not get to enjoy the first place champagne, though. The Motor City has enjoyed some champagne, but oh boy, that might.
What is F1 Racer's title?
F1 Racer doesn't get the. Wow. We've seen it all. This race has had it all now, ladies and gentlemen. Motor City does not win the race. TCR should win the race, though, and it's going to be second place for Pesosaurus Rex, third for Lazo, fourth for Bambuki, fifth for Dorian Alpha. See, I'm all messed up now because the numbers aren't synced up now. There's your positions. The guys will sort it out for TCR, but I don't know, drama maybe. Does he actually win the race? How do you run a 113 Motor City?
No, that's definitely he didn't do that. It didn't happen. And
that's some cheats.
It had to. I've seen that before. It was his first lap.
No. This guy's the next Brendan Lee, guys. I mean, that was some amazing speed on a final lap.
He didn't do a 113 lap around there. It's a glitch, and what happened was he was already behind, and it just didn't work out. So that's how that worked. I've seen that before. It does happen. I'm trying to get some of these guys in here. The winners. Who was in second place?
Well, it would be oh no, we should have paid attention. Well, it was it was F1 Racer 1,
Mm-hmm.
and then, oh dear, hold on, wait a minute. We're just gonna rewind on the stream. I do have it up, so this won't be a total disaster. So it was F1 Racer 85, Pazosaurus Rex, and Bambuki. No, sorry, Lazo in third.
Apparently they're already offline, so.
Okay. Is anybody
we started the stream late tonight, guys.
Yeah, it's 10 o'clock.
You know, guys didn't anticipate for. There we go. Pazosaurus Rex, and then who was in third?
Lazo.
Go ahead and invite. So I've invited first and second place. Maybe getting here on the chat, and we can talk about it for a little bit. See if Lazo's here. Nope, he's already not online anymore.
Cool. So we have one possible
we're gonna sit here
interview.
and wait for just a minute.
So who's the only person who could possibly join us?
I don't know.
This is going
I don't
stale
have Lazo
fast.
either, so it doesn't
Okay.
matter. Let's see who's online.
We got
There's
Bambuki.
Bambuki.
Bambuki's in here, so we can interview you. What a race, Bambuki! Talk us through. Pazosaurus Rex is in here as well. Just absolute mayhem in that Singapore Grand Prix. Talk us through the race and your thoughts on it.
Okay. No, but first, sorry, Rex, for the contact. I lost my braking points. But so, first, I don't know if you remember, I spin after the first lap, I think so.
Yes.
Yeah, after the start. After I start, I don't know, guys. It just I do the overtaking all the race, crazy race for me. Overtaking. It just, I'm dead.
So
done.
definitely difficult around there. Did you feel like you had contact with the Red Bull?
Which Red Bull?
There was only one.
No, I don't touch the Red Bull.
You didn't? Okay.
I know the only guys I touch it's Rex in the last lap when I lost my braking point, but I don't touch anyone. Just I broke my front wing after the safety car, I think so, because I don't know what happening. I think the Alfa Romeo touched the Red Bull or something like that. I don't see exactly what happening in the front of me. But it's just an amazing race for me.
So in the future, what can we call you?
For today I am happy with my I think I am 4. Yeah, 4.
Right, but you a Bambook.
Well, we said Bambuki the whole race.
Bamboo,
is that
Bamboo, it's fine. Yeah,
Bamboo?
it's fine.
Bamboo? Okay,
Bamboo is fine. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
Bamboo. Okay, no,
Thank you, sir.
no more Bamboo.
Really appreciate it.
All right, Pazosaurus Rex, you are next up. You got into the party second. Talk us through the race. Again, pretty mayhem in that Singapore Grand Prix. Talk us through your thoughts.
Well, definitely can't keep doing all these chaotic races like this. I'm gonna go insane, 2 back-to-back. But I had a terrible start to the race. During practice, I noticed that tire temperatures are going to be a major problem, and that ended up being the case. And on my first stint on the softs, I overheated them and spun when I was about to come into the pits, catching up to the safety car queue, and ended up losing a couple spots there, and then had a couple more mistakes. And there was only one pit stop where I didn't have to replace my front wing. And on the last stint, I was on the mediums, but I really wanted to be on the hards, but the game just done something weird. I came out of the mediums, and I figured, I might even be in for a podium if I can make these last. And, towards the end, I was definitely down on pace. F1 Racer got by me pretty easily, but I'm glad I was able to hold on and pick up P2.
Well, Pazosaurus, I mean, you finished first on the first race, so you finished second in China, and then got a 5th place in Japan. But, again, on the podium tonight, bad qualifying after the restart in the Haas car. Did you think you had a chance at really getting on the podium again tonight?
Yeah, I did. But as far as qualifying goes, it was a great lap until I got to the bridge section, and I missed my braking point pretty bad and lost a few tenths there. Could have qualified anywhere in the top 3 until that happened, but
Yeah, I thought you lost 2 or 3 tenths right there at the bridge section because I thought you were trying not to invalidate again. You'd already invalidated a couple laps in the qualifying section. But again, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
yeah. Well, after I invalidated those 2 laps, I really felt the pressure was on to go and try to set one good lap. I didn't have any banker laps behind me, so I was really trying to put everything out there then.
Well, I think you did a fantastic job tonight catching up, especially in the Haskell representing America. Do love that. So good to see it. And yeah, I mean, you started, what, 7th place and moved up in the podium section. So real well. Well done.
Thank you.
Nonetheless, now we move on to F1 racer who won the Singapore Grand Prix. Talk us through that race as you win the race on that soft tire. We saw how quick you were on the end. A very easy pass on Pazosaurus near the end of the race. Talk us through that.
That was a crazy race, wasn't it?
Just a tad.
Well,
You trying to interview us?
My race started pretty poor because qualifying I got the 5 place grid penalty. I was behind D Swish. We just completed our first flyers. We were pitting and I thought far enough behind him practicing pit in and ended up tapping him. So 5 seconds there, or 5 grid places.
5 places.
Yeah, 5 grid places. So I started in P11. And then everybody was spinning in front of us at the start.
Well, if I may, can I interrupt you for just 1 second? You had qualified in 6th, but you had to start P11, but you qualified on the softs, so you had to start on the softs. Run me through that.
Didn't help matters. That didn't help matters any. But I think a VCS virtual safety car came out, and me and Blinn ended up pitting on that. The 2nd or 3rd lap, I went on to mediums, and from there it was just kind of managing tire temperatures until the safety car came out, and I pit again for another set of mediums. I was going to try to make those last to the end, but when the final virtual safety car came out, I made the decision last second to put on a set of softs and see how quick I could go. And
well,
that is pretty much it.
It was a pretty chaotic race. Congratulations to all of you, though. You still had a hard-fought race, and you did well today. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. This has been TCR Season 10 in the Silver class for round number 4, the Singapore Grand Prix. Make sure, again, to join us tomorrow for the Golden class at 8:15 EST, and then Thursday for the Platinum class at 8:15 EST. My name is Iserlix. I was joined by Fabregas in the co-commentary booth. Fabregas, any last words?
Just thank you for all the top 3 finishers, everybody on the podium. Well done to you guys. That was a great chaotic race. You all overcame many things as far as safety cars and damage, and really pulled through and showed how good you guys really can be. So congratulations and much respect. Thank you for joining us, and it was my pleasure to actually be here tonight and accompany you, Isik, and be alongside you. It was a pleasure for me.
We talked about this. We
talked
about this. Ix. Well, it can't all be sunshine and rainbows, but nonetheless, if you enjoyed the commentary, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to Trinity Competitive Racing and hit the notification bell to never miss a video or race from Trinity Competitive Racing. This has been Iserlix and Fabregas signing off. Thank you very much, and have yourselves a wonderful night.